Welcome back to Business Studies class. So we'll start with new chapter, that is your chapter 2, and title of the chapter is Forms of Business Organization. In chapter 1 we have seen the basic information about business. It means what are the features, what should be the objectives, or what type of risks may be involved, and lastly we have concluded if you have decided to start a business, what are the factors to be considered before you start a business, that we have seen in our chapter 1. Now the second chapter says forms of business organization. It means what type of ownership you need to own your business. That is what we are going to learn in this particular chapter. We have different types of forms of organization, ownership, different types of ownership you can have for your business, and related features, that is characteristics and merits and demerits, will be seeing for each form. Hence it will be helpful for you to select a right type of business ownership which suits your particular business. Yes, let us start with the meaning. So meaning of your business organization, forms of business organization. It is a legal form of business. When I say legal form, it means how it is seen from the eyes of law. Eyes of law in the sense, in the consideration of law, how your business will be viewed, that is seen. Is that clear? So we say, what is this forms of business organization? Means in simple we can say it is a type of ownership. Which type of ownership you want to have on your business? That too from the point of view of law. Is that clear? So when I say law, it is a rules and regulations which is established in order to have control over the society. Is it clear? So in this chapter we are going to learn the meaning of business, forms of business organization as it is given, like it is a legal form of business and intention of managing the business, or why you are managing the business and how it is seen from the eyes of law, says your form of business organization. Okay, now let us go in detail. What are the different forms we have? Here you can see the table. Your forms of organization will be of 3 types: initially private sector, public sector, and joint enterprises we see. Okay, this is the initial classification what you have to understand regarding forms of business organization. Any form of organization in India I am speaking about. It is about India. Okay, in our country, according to the law, how the forms of business organizations we have, in which type of a form, a ownership you can continue your business. This is pertaining to our country, that is India. Okay, so mainly we have 3 types. Private sector. Here you have to understand private sectors are those which are purely managed and owned by the private people, private individual. For example, if I have money, if I am interested to start a business, I can start any one type of business under private sector. Under private sector you have sole proprietorship, as you can see here, joint Hindu family business, partnership, cooperative society, and joint stock company. As an individual, I can go with any of the 5 forms of business organization. That is, for my business, my ownership can be sole proprietor, joint Hindu family, partnership, cooperative, or joint stock company. What all these things in detail we'll be learning in the chapter, but as of now you understand this. These forms will be in 3 types we say, that is private sector, public sector, and joint enterprise. Okay, for this chapter you have to learn like this. When we go into the depth of business concepts, the scenario will somewhat change, but as of for the initial stages you have to understand like this. Okay, so we have 3 types, 3 forms: private sector, public sector, and joint sector. When I say private sector, so in private sector, these 5 types of organizations fall under your private sector. Okay, that is, when a particular person want to start a business, he can start in any of the 5 forms. When you see the public sector, it is purely by the government. We know the government will be having ownership and management over the business. Such businesses we call it as public enterprise. Whenever we say public, it means it's a government enterprise. Okay, government companies. Apart from that, you have joint sector. Joint sector in the sense somewhat private and public, that is private individuals and government together start some businesses. Okay, with example we will be learning about all these things. Initially you have to remember this chart. Okay, so private sector, public sector and joint sector. Under private sector we have 5 forms and in public sector we have 3 forms. Okay, as per this chapter we will be studying only private sector. Are you getting that? As per this chapter we will be studying only private sector, means we will be seeing features, merits and demerits of all the 5 types, that is sole proprietorship, joint Hindu family business, partnership, cooperative and joint stock company. Here in this chapter we are not going to learn anything about public enterprise, that we will be learning in some other chapter. So here we are going to learn about the 5 different forms of organization which falls under private sector. You have to remember private sector in the sense the business which is owned and managed with the private people. No government interference will be there in the management in money matters. It's only concerned up to checking, auditing, okay, whether they are paying the taxes or not. Only to this extent the government will be having interference. Apart from that, in day-to-day routine works and in the management of the business, control over the business, the government will not have any control over these private enterprises. So in this chapter we are going to learn only private sector enterprises, forms of business organization which falls under private sector. So let us start with the sole proprietorship. As the name itself says, sole in the sense single. Okay, sole in the sense single, proprietorship in the sense a sole owner over that property or over that particular business. Okay, he is a single owner for his business. He is a sole person. Here you be careful in writing the spelling. It should not be S-O-U-L, it should be S-O-L-E, which means one, single, right? So many times students will get confused, so please be clear there. Okay, under your sole proprietorship ownership, you will be a single person who will be handling your business. It does not mean you will not have an assistance. You can hire assistants, but generally it is owned and managed by the single person. Why? We'll be learning when we see the features. So sole proprietorship is a type of business where there will be single person as owner of the business. Is that clear? He is called proprietor. When you hear a name called proprietor, we can just say it is a sole proprietorship business because he will be the single owner for his business. Is that clear? Now we'll go with the features. When we try to understand the features, that reveals us the nature, how the sole proprietorship business will be, how it moves, everything we'll be learning while we try to understand the features, merits and demerits. When you learn all this, the entire concept will be clear with in your mind. Okay, so first try to understand, when I say sole proprietorship, it is a form of business organization where there will be single owner for the business. He will be responsible for everything, all the losses he has to bear. In the same way, whatever profit he'll get in a business, he'll be using entire profits for himself. Hence we say it is a sole proprietor, single responsible person for profits and also loss and any other type of activity. Now we'll see the features of your sole proprietorship. As I said, single ownership. Okay, so he will be the single owner of his business. He don't have anyone with whom he can share his profits or his loss. Is it clear? He is a single owner of his business. Hence, some other feature will be attached, that is no sharing of profit and loss. I hope when I say no sharing of profit, will be very happy, isn't it? When we get something and we no need to share with anyone, will be very happy. But you also think that even you cannot share your loss. Okay, so one of the feature of your sole proprietorship is no need to share any profit and he cannot share the loss also. Then comes one man's capital. See, try to understand the capital contributed to the sole proprietorship will be less. Why? Because he is a single owner. Generally, it is the owners who contribute, not the employees, isn't it? Hence, we have to understand that there will be limited capital in sole proprietorship business because single person cannot invest too much of money. Though he is a sound person, he cannot establish a large scale of business. As I said, the business can be in three types. With reference to size, it can be large scale industry, it can be medium scale industry, or it can be small scale industry. Always your small proprietors, that is sole proprietorship businesses, will be started with for the small scale businesses, and almost I can say middle, that is medium scale. They cannot go for large scale business because their capital will be limited. As he is a single person, he has to invest the entire capital. Whatever money he is needed into the business, everything he has to bring. It can be from his pocket, that is his personal property, personal money, or he has to lend from the different people, and he becomes responsible to clear all the debts. Hence we say the capital contributed towards the sole proprietorship business will be less because he is a single owner. He don't have anyone to contribute to his business with respect to investment, that is capital, money. Then one more important feature you have to remember, that is unlimited liability. We will be having unlimited liability. This might be a new term to you. A liability you might see in your accounts class. Okay, liability in the sense a loss, something what you have to pay to someone. Assets and liabilities you might see. Assets in the sense which gain something for us. Liabilities are those which we have to repay, isn't it? So you have to understand unlimited liability in the sense it is a connected point to your capital. As I said, as he is a single owner for his business, he has to invest everything into the business. Then what happens? Example I'll tell you. He invested some 50 lakhs rupees. Okay, 50 lakh rupees he has invested. Out of which 25 lakhs is from his personal property. Okay, personal property, personal money has 25 lakhs he has invested, and other 25 lakhs he has lended from many people, like financial institutions he has taken, from private money lenders he has taken, and from banks he has taken. From that he has acquired some 25 lakhs. So together 50 lakhs he has invested into business. Unfortunately, the business is in loss now. Are you able to understand? The business is under loss. See, though the business is under loss, you have to repay to the bank what you have taken. You have to repay to the financial institution from whom you have taken money. Even you have to repay to the private money lenders. It becomes so tough, a financial crisis, that when he is in loss, he is unable to pay his debts, isn't it? Now, with this feature called unlimited liability, he has to sell his personal property. Apart from 25 lakhs what he has taken from his personal money, if he has land, if he has building, if he has vehicles, everything he has to sell and he has to repay to the money lenders. Are you clear there? This is what called the feature called unlimited liability. Opposite to that is we have limited liability. Okay, opposite to this feature we have limited liability. In case of limited liability, the person who has taken money will not be responsible to sell his personal assets to repay to the debts of the business. Is that clear? See, for example, the same person has taken loan, same 25 lakhs he has taken. Okay, but he is not doing business under sole proprietorship form of business. He is doing under joint stock company. You take it as an example, under joint stock company. In joint stock company, what happens? It is not only the one person who will be contributing the capital, there will be many. You take it, 20 people will be there. 20 people will be contributing to the company's capital. Okay, now all the 20 will be becoming responsible for the debts what they have taken from other people. 25 lakhs they have taken. So when company will be lost, all will be responsible, but no one will be responsible to sell their personal property and repay to the debts. This part you have to understand. In case of limited liability, no owner will be responsible to sell their personal assets and repay the money what they have taken and invested into the business. But in case of unlimited liability feature form of business organization, A person will be responsible if he is in loss also. He has to sell his personal property and repay the debts. Which is more risky? Your unlimited liability. Is that clear? Means the sole proprietor has unlimited liability feature. It means whenever he is in loss, he has to repay the loss by using his personal property. By selling his personal property by hook or crook, he has to repay the debt. But if he has a limited liability as a feature, he no need to sell his personal assets. He can declare that my company is in loss, I am not gaining anything, so you have to wait until my company goes into the profit and then I'll pay you the debt. I'll repay the debt what I have taken. But now, as of now, the company is in loss, we are in financial crisis, so I cannot pay you the capital. He can declare like that if he has a limited liability. But the sole proprietorship of business, we have the feature of unlimited liability, in the sense when the company, money what he has taken, he didn't use for his personal purpose, he has invested into the business, and now business is in loss. Though business is in loss, he has to repay the debt. How he has to repay? He has to sell his personal property. Means his personal property also used for clearing the business debt. This is one of the biggest demerit, and sometimes it also acts as merit. We'll see later how. See, in this chapter you can observe some points seems to be merit sometimes, and other times it seems to be demerit. Only the viewpoint, how you see, how you analyze makes the difference. Okay, but we'll learn that in different way. I have to learn this. Unlimited liability, in the sense the owner will be liable to repay the debt even if the business is in loss by selling his personal assets. That is what your feature called unlimited liability. Then comes one more feature, is less legal formalities. As true, if you want to start your business under a form called sole proprietorship, then your legal formalities will be very less. You don't have a tough procedure to open and to close your business. Is it clear? So, very less types of sole proprietorship business needs licensing. Some other businesses can be started only giving information. Even registration is not compulsory many times. Is that clear? That I am talking about in India. Okay, in India, many of the sole proprietorship business are not even registered. You don't have any hard rules from the government. It is only because they will be started with limited resources. There will be single person, so no conflicts will be there. So it will be simple to start and even simple to close. And lastly, we can say this will have on-man control. A single person, as I said, sole, a single, he will be having entire control over the business. Anything he can update and anything he can delete, that is he can take away from his business. It is so simple. Now see, for example, if you are too many people in the business, all are in the stage of owners, then what happens? Everyone has to discuss. One says yes, other says no, and conflict starts. Decision making becomes very delay, because one says yes, other says no. But in case of your sole proprietorship business, there will be a single person, so what he says yes, that is yes, what he says no will be no to his business. Is it clear? So we have seen 6 features. Along with this, now we are going to learn the merits and demerits of your sole proprietorship business. It is somewhat blurred, but I'll read it out. So merits, we have easy to start, easy to wind up, that is close, quick decision and a very prompt action, flexibility in operations, and direct maintenance over the business. So these are the merits. Okay, as I said, he is a single person, and there will be no much legal formalities. It is easy to start. So your sole proprietorship business can be started with the least legal formalities. Means you no need to connect to the government for the much time. With very least details, with the least efforts, you can start your business. Same happens in the time when you want to close. If you are not interested in doing the business, if you have faced the loss and you want to wind up the business, that is close the business. Winding up in the sense closing. Okay, if you want to close the business, just you can shut the doors of your business. Okay, no one will inquire about that. There is no much rules and regulation. To be frank, we don't have hard code of conduct for your sole proprietorship business as per a law. So we say it is easy to start and easy to wind up. Then comes quick decision making. As I said, he is a single person. If he says yes, that becomes yes in his business. If he says no, that becomes no. Quick decision, very fast decision he can take. If too many people are involved, decision becomes slow. When decision is slow, generally your time taken will be more. And even prompt action, as he is the owner of the business, he is a single person who enjoys all the profit, who has to bear all the loss, he will be very prompt in action. See, observe yourself, if you are the direct beneficiary of anything, you will work hard. For example, because of you work hard and many will be taking result of that, your working ability becomes less. You will think, only I have to work, but everyone has to enjoy. But opposite, if you think you will work, you will win. If it is a situation, you will work very hard. Those who are good in, they'll think if I work hard, entire thing I'll gain. If I do some mistake, I'll be in loss. With that intention, your actions will be done promptly. Okay, so this is also one of the merit. And flexibility in operation. Flexibility in the sense, easily he can mold his business as he like, because he is having less formalities, he is a single owner, no need to consult anyone to take the decision. Hence, easily he can alter and he can delete and he can have new things like this. He can do very quickly. That is what flexibility we say. It means easily he can bend anyway according to the situation. Okay. For example, you are doing a sole proprietorship business and now you want to stop the sale of a particular product. Easily you can do this because you are the owner. But if you are not the owner, someone else is the owner, you have to take his consent. Until he says yes, you cannot do anything. Is it clear? But as you are the single owner, if you want to stop the sales of this, you can stop. If you want to shift your business place, easily you can shift. Whatever changes if you want to make in your business, easily you can make. That is what we say flexibility in operation. And lastly, direct maintenance of business. It is only you, direct control. It is only you who will be having control over your business. So when you are the single owner of the business, everything will be as per your orders and instructions. Similarly, we have demerits. See, always try to understand, for each concept will be having merits and demerits. How interesting, how great might be the concept. Similarly, we have merits and demerits. So always we have to handle the things. See, always, even example, if you go with the persons also, there will be merits and demerits. Some good things and some bad things will be there in every person. So as a what I can say, intelligent people, what we have to do is always we have to opt to that concept, opt to that option which has more merits, and even we have to learn how to manage the demerits. You cannot expect any concept, any person without demerits. There will be there. As I said, there will be risk in every business. There will be demerits for every concept and every human being also. So what we have to do is, always you have to opt. For example, if you want to find a friend, you have to find a particular person who has more merits. Okay, you can never say that yes, he is my friend or she is my friend, she don't have any demerits. We cannot say that. Only the thing we have to do is, before we make them as friends, okay, we have to see what good qualities they have, more good qualities. Okay, if they have more good qualities, we have to accept them as our friends. Okay, and when we come to know their demerits, we should try to manage the demerits. Is it clear? Towards the concept also, that same attitude we should have. So we have demerits for your sole proprietor. What is this? Limited capital. As I said, he is a single person, he cannot bring more capital. Is that clear? He cannot bring more capital. For example, 5 partners are there, in the sense all the 5 will bring the capital, so your capital becomes more. But in case of your sole proprietor, what happens? There will be a single person. Hence, what happens? There will be little or less investment into the business. Generally, depending on for your investment, your expansion of business will be there. Your investment is less, your size of business will be less. Hence, I said generally a sole proprietorship business will be carried on for small scale business. Then comes unlimited liability. We have discussed in the features now. Unlimited liability in the sense, when the company is in loss, the sole proprietor is responsible to sell his personal property and pay the debts what he has taken for the purpose of developing his business. So the business is in loss and even he is losing his personal property. This is the greatest risk, a demerit of your sole proprietorship form of business. Then lack of continuity we see. Lack of continuity in the sense, the business cannot be maintained for longer period because he is a single person. See, if he is not feeling well, if he expires, the business will be closed unless he has transferred that. Okay, unless he has transferred, generally what happens, your business will close. So for long period, for years together, the business cannot be continued. Is it clear? So we say lack of continuity. If something happens to the sole proprietor, as he is a single owner, the business, entire business will be closed. Then we say limited scope. Limited scope in the sense, he cannot expand to the higher extent. Why? Because of his limited capital, single person. The scope for his business will be less. Scope in the sense, chance of expansion. Chance of expansion will be very less because his capital will be less. He is having unlimited liability and he is a single owner. Then comes lack of managerial expertise. Managerial expertise. See, as a owner of the business, he should possess many things. He should know how to purchase, he should know how to sell, he should know how to maintain the stock. Okay, he should know how to manage the finance. Everything he should know because he is a single owner. Hence, a single person cannot be good in all these things. A single person cannot be expert in all the things. You can just imagine, you can just take an example of yourself or your family members. You might be good in one thing, your brother or sister, siblings may be good in some other thing. Your parents may be good in other thing. All will not be perfect or all will not be experts in all the areas. Okay, but in case of sole proprietor, what happens? He is a single person and his capital is less. Hence, even he cannot hire the people. He cannot have a finance manager to his finance. He cannot have marketing marketing executive for his marketing activity. He cannot have purchase executive for purchasing the activities. Why? Because his capital will be limited. With his limited capital, he cannot hire more employees. Is it clear? Hence, what happens? He is a single person. He has to look into all the area. He has to purchase the goods, what he has to sell through his business. He has to sell the activity. He has to do financial things also. He has to look after everything he has to do. Hence, we say he lacks, or your sole proprietorship lacks managerial expert. In order to manage a business, too many experts are required. But a sole proprietor will not able to do that for himself, nor he cannot hire because of limited capital. So these are the merits and demerits of your sole proprietorship business. I will be sending notes through WhatsApp. Go through the notes also. I hope with this explanation you will be easily understanding what are the merits, demerits along with the features. Is it clear? Okay. Till we meet in our next class. Take care. Bye-bye.